Hello, welcome to our online classes. Hope this channel will help you, especially for chemistry learners. Our channel aims to provide online classes for chemistry students pursuing plus 2 C and CBSE and those who are appearing for NEET examinations. In our first video, we provide some basics of coordination chemistry. Other videos are to come to provide further content of the topics, and we also provide other chapters also. We'll also provide objective type questions and answers with the clarifications in next classes. Okay, we will start with the basics of coordination compounds based on NEET syllabus. First, what are coordination compounds? Coordination compounds are those compounds in which a small number of molecules or ions called ligands surround a central metal atom or ion. Each ligand shares a pair of its electrons with a metal. For example, tetramine copper 2 ion. You see, actually these coordination compounds which differs from other salts like double salts or like that, actually by the bonds, the nature of bonds. Actually here it is a coordinate bond, because there are three bonds, covalent bonds, ionic bonds and coordinate bond. The covalent bond is a sharing of electrons. Ionic bond is a transfer of electrons, and the coordinate bond is a donation of electrons. So here these coordination compounds are formed by the donation of electrons. So actually the electrons are donated by ligands. Actually the ligands are some electron rich species, most probably they are electron rich species. So they are ready to donate the electrons to the central metal atom. It is probably the central metal atoms are probably the transition metals. You see, because the transition metals are smaller in size and they have multiple valency. That's why they can easily, because they have empty orbitals. That's why the 3D orbitals, especially the 3D block transition metals, they have 3D, that means the D orbitals are empty. So they will easily provide these donated electrons in this orbital. So this is actually the formation of the coordination compounds. The next question is, how do you distinguish between a double salt and a coordination compounds? When two salts in equimolar ratio are crystallized together from the saturated solution, they are called double salt. For example, the Mohr salt. Here the Mohr salt, there is a ferrous sulfate, then ammonium sulfate. Both species are present here. But you see, when this Mohr salt is dissolved in water, they dissociate into ions like Fe, ferrous ion, sulfate ion and ammonium ion. So these are all dissociate into ions. So actually this is the properties of the double salts. They dissociate into simple ions in aqueous solution because they are ionic compounds. And here there is no any sort of coordinate bonds because they are formed by ionic bonds. But in the case of coordination compounds, they are formed by coordinate bonds by donation of electron pair. So these compounds are not dissociated into ions when they are dissolved in water. So this is the main difference between the double salt and the coordination compounds. The next, what are the different terminology used in coordination chemistry? Many different terms which are used here in the coordination chemistry. The first one is the central metal ions. The metal ion surrounded by a number of ions or molecules is called central metal ion or ion. Example, potassium ferrocyanide. Actually, its a common name is potassium ferrocyanide. According to the IUPAC name, it's potassium hexacyanoferrate 2 ion. Actually, you see here, Fe2 plus, that is a ferrous ion, is a central metal ion. So the central metal ion is a ion which is present inside the bracket. That is actually the complex species. But the potassium is present outside. That is not a central metal ion because it's not present in the inside. So that's why the metal which is present inside the bracket is known as the central metal ion. Okay, the next one is a ligand. A ligand is an ion or a small molecule having at least one lone pair of electrons and capable of forming a coordinate bond with the central atom or ion in the coordination entity. So the ligands are those which surround the central metal ion. For example, chloro ligand, hydroxo ligand, cyano ligand, carbonyl ligand, amine ligand, aqua ligand. So these are all ligands. Actually, these ligands they are acting as a Lewis base. So because the ligand may be a neutral or charged species, negative charged species or neutral species, very few are positive charged species. Types of ligands on basis of tendency. So you see here the ligands are forming the bond. There's a coordinate bond with the central metal ion. So actually the ligand which makes a single bond or a double bond, actually single bond, and sometimes it makes more than one bond with two connecting sites. For example, you see this monodentate ligand. Is a monodentate ligand means a mono means only one. It make only one bond with the central metal ion. A ligand which forms only one bond with the central metal ion or have only one donor. Example, carbonyl, nitrosyl, amine, aqua, hydroxo, etc. So these are all monodentate ligand. The next one is a bidentate or didentate ligand. A ligand which forms two bonds with the central atom or ion or two donor atoms ion. Example, 1,2-ethane diamine or ethylene diamine. Shortly is known as ethylene diamine. En. CH2, NH2, CH2, NH2. So ethylene diamine. So actually this will make it two bonds with the central metal ion. The third one is polydentate ligand. A ligand which forms more than two bonds with the central atom or ion or have more than two donor atoms. Example, ethylene diamine tetraacetate, EDTA. One is chelating ligand. A ligand which forms two or more bonds with the central atom or ion and results in the formation of cyclic complex. For example, here is the ethylene diamine, bis-ethylene diamine, platinum chloride. Here, this ethylene diamine ligand which makes a somewhat a chelating, a cyclic compound. So that is known as a chelating ligand. The next one is ambidentate ligand. A ligand which can form bond with two different atoms. You see there is a nitro, NO2. Here the nitrogen and as well as oxygen both are electron rich. So in some complexes the coordinate bond can be formed through nitrogen. In some other complexes the bond can be formed through oxygen. So this is ambidentate. The same one ligand will make the bonding site in one complex with nitrogen, in another complex with oxygen. Okay. In the same way is thiocyanate. So the thiocyanate here also the sulfur and the nitrogen. The sulfur can be forming this coordinate bond in some other complexes. In some complexes it is a nitrogen will make the bond. The next one is a flexidentate ligand. A ligand which forms different number of bonds with the central atom or ion in different complexes. EDT, ethylene diamine tetraacetate. The next, coordination number. So actually it's a number of monodentate ligand attached to central metal ion in a complex is called coordination number. It may also be defined as total number of chemical bonds formed between central metal ion and a donor atom of ligand. Example is a hexamine nickel 2 ion. Here the coordination number is number of Ni2 plus is 6. You see because the nickel is nickel ion, the central metal ion is a nickel ion. It's connected to 6 numbers of amine ligand. So the coordination number is 6. The next one is oxidation number of central metal atom or central atom. It is defined as a charge it would carry if all the ligands are removed along with the electron pairs that are shared with the central atom. It can be calculated by taking the sum of oxidation state of metal and the total ligands equal to the charge present on its coordination sphere. The next, homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. Actually, what are the differences between these two types of complexes we see now? The complexes in which the metal atom or ion is linked to only one type of ligands are called homoleptic complexes. Example, hexamine cobalt 3 ion. You see here all 6 ligands are amine. And next one is a hexacyanoferrate 2 ion. Here all ligands are cyano, there is the same ligands are present. So there is a homoleptic complexes. Then what is a heteroleptic complex? The complex in which the metal atom or ion is linked to more than one kind of ligands are called heteroleptic complex. You see here is a amine dichloro cobalt 3 ion. You see there are two types of ligands present in the first complex. Amine ligand, next one is a chloro ligands. Another example is a bis ethylene diamine dichloro chromium 3 ion. So this here you see there are the two types of ligands, ethylene diamine and chloro ligands. The fourth one is types of ligands on the basis of the charges. Actually it's a monodendrite ligands, and they have most probably some are negatively charged and some are neutral charged, and how they get the name when they are bonded with the central metal ion. So the common name you see is a fluoride, F minus fluoride, but in the name of ligands in complex is fluoro. Bromide ion is known as bromo, iodide ion is known as iodo. Carbonate, nitrate, sulfate, thiosulfate, sulfate, carbonyl, chloro. So many ions to be named. Actually, these are the name which are present in the complex. So the common name is different from the name of ligands in complex. Now we see some examples for multidendrite ligands. As ethylene diamine, acetyl acetate, oxalate, glycinate, diethylene triamine, nitrile triacetate, ethylene diamine tetraacetate. So these are all some multidendrite ligands. They make more than one bond with the central metal atom. For example, this ethylene diamine tetraacetate will make 6 bonds with the central metal atom, and a nitrile triacetate will make 4 bonds, and a diethylene triamine will make 3 bonds, and oxalato, glycinato, acetyl acetate, they will make 2 bonds. The fourth question is, how do you name coordination compounds by IUPAC nomenclature? So this is very important in the coordination chemistry, because we follow a different style to name the coordination complexes. So actually it is given by IUPAC system how to name a coordination complex. Now we will see some points. First you see the positively charged, that is the cations, are named first, while the negatively charged, that is anions, are named at the end. Actually these cations and anions, what we represent means it is present outside the bracket. So first we should give importance to the name of the cation, and at the end after the bracket some anions may be present. It can be given at the last. The name is given the last. The next point is within the coordination entity, names are written in the following sequence. First, within the bracket the complex species is present. How do we name it? First we should give preference to the number of ligands. Next, the name of the ligand. The next, name of the central atom or ion. And last, the oxidation state of the central metal ion or atom. The third point is the number of ligands is written as di for 2, tri for 3, tetra for 4, penta for 5, hexa for 6, and so on. If the ligand is already having a di, tri, tetra, then we should prefix such ligands as numerical prefix such as di, tri, tetra, etc. are used. They are known as bis, tris, tetragis, pentagis, hexagis, heptagis, just like that. Okay. The next point is the name of ligands are written in alphabetical order. The names of anionic ligands end as O. The suffix ide or ite or ate is replaced by O, or suffix e is replaced by O. Names of neutral ligands are used as such. The next point is for neutral or positive, that is a cationic coordination entity, the name of metal remains same. The next, the oxidation number of central atom is denoted in Roman numerals in bracket at the end of the name of the complex. The next slide we will see some examples how to name the complex by IUPAC nomenclature. We will see some examples. You see the first complex. Here the two types of ligands are present, that is amine ligands and isothiocyanate ligands. So now we start from the pentamine because the 5 amine ligands are present. So pentamine, pentamine, I mean actually it's a pentamine, isothiocyanate. The next is a cobalt. Next the metal, the name of the metal is a cobalt, and the oxidation number. So we say what is the oxidation number of cobalt central metal ion? How to calculate this the oxidation number of cobalt? You see outside the bracket 2 chloride ions are present. So if there are 2 chloride ions, there is 2 minus charge. So outside the bracket there are 2 plus, and inside the bracket you see the amine ligands. These are all the neutral ligands. Then another ligand is an isothiocyanate ligand. It is a negative ligand. So it's a negative ligand means the cobalt will carry up 1 positive charge, and outside the bracket 2 positive charges. So totally there are 3 positive charge. So the oxidation number of the cobalt is 3. So now the name of this complex is pentamine isothiocyanate cobalt 3 chloride. When you are writing the name of this complex, you should not leave any space between the number of ligands or the name of the ligands or the central metal ion, or even in the oxidation number of the central metal ion. But you can leave some space after the oxidation number because the chloride ion is present outside the bracket, so we can leave some space for chloride. But within the bracket you should not leave any space. The next example is here also 2 ligands are present, aqua ligands and chloro ligands. So first the aqua ligands is a neutral ligand. 4 aqua ligands are present, and Cl2, it's a 2 chloro ligands. Actually the outside the bracket only 1 positive charge is present, and aqua ligands is a neutral ligand. Chloro ligand, 2 chloro ligands are present, so it is a 2 minus. So if it is 2 minus, the chromium will carry 2 positive charge. So outside there is 1 positive charge, totally 3 positive charge. So this is a chromium, the oxidation number of chromium is 3. So now the name is tetra aqua dichloro chromium 3 ion. Okay. Then the next example is there is no charge here. That's why we can't name it as ion. But the one species present outside in the left side, that is a sodium ion. So we can leave some space after sodium, and the ligands are tetrafluoro. One oxygen is present as oxo ligand. So tetrafluoro oxo chromate 4. Why it is a chromate? Because you see this sodium is a positive charge. So if it's a sodium is a positive charge, this complex species is negatively charged. So it's a negative charge. Sodium 2 plus, 2 sodium 2 plus, and CrOF4, there is a bracket, is a 2 minus. So the complex species is carrying a negative charge. So the central metal ion is known as chromate. If it is a positive charge, then it is a chromium only. But if it's a negative charge, we should suffix by 8. So the name of the complex is sodium tetrafluoroxochromate 4. So this oxidation number is 4 because the fluoro ligand F minus 4 minus, so 4 plus. For oxygen it is a 2 minus, so it's a 2 plus. So totally chromium carry a 6 positive charge, but for this 2 sodium, for this it's a 2 negative charge outside the bracket. So totally is a 4 positive charge carried by the chromium. So that's why the oxidation number of chromium is 4. The next example is an example for a bridged complex. There are 2 ligands present. One is a imido ligand, another one is a hydroxo ligand. So both are making a bridge between the 2 cobalt atoms. So totally here 3 types of ligands are present: ethylene diamine, imido, and hydroxo. So how to name this type of complex? You see the bridge ligand should be prefixed by mu. So for example, this imido, we must prefix as mu imido, and hydroxo it is a mu hydroxo. The another ligand ethylene diamine, because ethylene diamine, it is known as a bis ethylene diamine, and we have to calculate what is the oxidation number of cobalt, because 2 cobalt atoms are present, and outside the bracket there is a charge 3 plus charge, and imido, imido is having 2 negative, 2 minus, hydroxide is 1 minus, so totally 3 minus, so there are 3 plus totally, and outside the bracket there are 3 plus, totally 6 plus charge on both cobalt atoms. So for each cobalt atom 3 plus, so that's why is the oxidation number of cobalt is 3 for each cobalt. So the final name is bis ethylene diamine cobalt 3 mu imido mu hydroxo bis ethylene diamine cobalt 3 ion. We see some other examples in the next slide. I have given some 5 examples here. You see this is a third example. Here there are 2 complex species are present adjacent to each other, both having the metal atom silver. So here the first one is a positive charge, the second one is a negative charge. That's why the first one is given as a diamine silver 1, the next dicyanoargentate 1. Why? Because it's negative. The second species is a negative 1, so there is the center metal ion is suffixed as 8 argentate. So these are also some other examples I given. So I think this presentation is very helpful for you. Thank you for watching. We will provide more chemistry online classes, especially for those appearing for NEET. It will also be useful for State Board and CBSE students for their public examinations. Please subscribe and give comments, and we are ready to clarify your doubts in next classes. Thank you.